Welcome to dBNp News. I'll be your host this evening, GTS the King. But dBNp News, this being the first episode, I want to let you guys know that I decided to not put myself in the video. If you think that needs to be changed or you feel the need to see me, I know I'm handsome and everything, but if you actually need to see me, then let me know and we'll change the format. Other than that, this news is going to be posted weekly, and what we're going to cover is video games, sports, entertainment, and then some general news, just depending on whatever I want to talk about. But basically, I wanted to make it a one-stop shop for you to get all your game news and different things of that nature. So we're going to jump right in. One of the first things I want to talk about is the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. Right now they're talking about the console wars and everything. The poor Wii U just gets left out, but as everybody else, I'm pretty much going to leave the Wii U out too right now. But anyway, Xbox One right now runs about $499. The PlayStation 4 runs about $399. So there's about a $100 difference between the two. As far as storage goes, both have 500 gigabyte HDD, so pretty even there. The controllers, personally, there's a big difference, and I'm gonna say that I'm pretty much an Xbox fanboy. But this being the news, I am gonna completely try to be unbiased. But anyway, this was a big thing I thought the PlayStation 4 had going for it. Even though it's just a controller, it's still pretty epic. The Xbox One has basically a slightly updated Xbox controller with the external Kinect included. That's pretty sweet, but the PlayStation 4 has a completely redesigned DualShock 4 with built-in optional PS Move functionality. That's pretty freaking sweet. Not to mention, it also has a light bar on the controller, which I thought, was amazing. A lot of people said, that means nothing. But I can't tell you the times I've been playing a video game. I know a lot of you have been the same way. You've been playing a video game at night, and who hasn't been in like the pitch black and your controller illuminates the room? I think the blue light, which I'm sure there's other colors available, but the blue light from what I've seen is pretty awesome. And the big thing is, if you've not held a PS4 controller, I promise you right now, it is the most comfortable controller to date. I mean, the thing is an epic gaming controller. I wish to God that some company out there like Mad Catz would make a PlayStation 4 controller for my Xbox. That needs to happen. So, anyway, the launch games, PlayStation 4 has Killzone Shadowfall, which I gotta say, really is not that great. Knack and Drive Club. It also has a couple other downloadable games, but to be honest, there's not a lot going on there in launch titles. On the other hand, Xbox One had Titanfall, Rise, The Son of Rome, Forza 5, and Dead Rising 3. Forza 5, that was one that was disappointing to me just because graphic-wise, that game is freaking phenomenal. But the track selection is just, it's massively downgraded from the previous Forzas. But I'm not going to complain about that too much. But now PlayStation 4 has partnerships with Twitch and Blizzard. Xbox One has partnerships with NFL, Twitch, ESPN, and HBO Go. So again, Xbox One comes in pretty good with the partnerships. Now, the backwards compatibility thing always gets me, and it's kind of a hot button subject for me, so I'm going to skip over that because I think it's ridiculous. Everything should be backwards compatible. I mean, you paid for the games, you're going to buy a new console, why the hell wouldn't I, be allowed to play the games I've already purchased from your company? That's insane. Although I have seen the Xbox One is pretty much offering most of Xbox games, well, I wouldn't say most of, but a lot of your favorites and stuff for really cheap, if not free. So that's pretty cool. Have not seen that with PlayStation 4 yet, but I'm sure it's there. one of the big things about the Xbox One is the thing is just, it's better than cable TV. It has Netflix and Hulu and HBO Go and so much going on for it as far as entertainment value when it comes to movies and TV and stuff. So it's pretty amazing if you have an Xbox One and you plug into all the different things of, whatever, then you basically don't have to have cable TV, I guess is what I'm getting at. So I thought that was pretty freaking cool. Now, like I said, I am a huge Xbox fan. Back when the regular Xbox came out, of course I purchased it. And the Xbox 360, had to have it, but it's just there's a lot of things going on. I guess I've just always been an Xbox fan since the first Xbox came out, so that's been a big deal for me. One of the next things that I want to talk about is actually something I spotted on the internet. It's PS4's better terms makes the Xbox One less attractive. So what it is Microsoft attempts to coax indie developers to the Xbox One idea Xbox has come in for a fair amount of criticism due to its launch parity clause, which prevents developers from releasing their games on other platforms before the Xbox One. This has always been something that's been going on, though, even from Nintendo, which was way back in the day. But anyway, Vladimir Rami Ismail has previously suggested that Microsoft would do well to remove the clause, citing the impracticalities of the clause for smaller developers. In an interview with Now Gamer, in which we talked about the receding gap between indie and AAA, we asked the Fulbright company Steve Gaynor, developer of Gone Home, whether having to ready a game for multiple systems would cause problems for a small development team such as theirs. Now he states, "Oh yeah, that would be pretty crazy, especially if it's a game like ours that is full 3D game and you're going to run into obscure rendering bugs and all this kind of stuff. It would be a huge undertaking." Gaynor pointed out that Microsoft should be careful about making the PS4 a more attractive option to developers simply by virtue of Sony being less restrictive about what indie developers can do. Again, he states, if you're talking to Sony and Microsoft is like, well, you can't be on Xbox if you're on PlayStation first, but it's easier to be on PS4 because they have better terms, then you'll be like, okay, let's just be on PlayStation. However, Gaynor also suggests that releasing on multiple platforms at once will work for some, and in any case, developers have plenty of choice when deciding how to distribute their game. Now, if you want to read the rest of that, just go to nowgamer.com and you can check out the full article there. That's where I found it at anyway. Now, what this says to me is that the Xbox, I'd say for bigger development companies, it's not going to be that big of a deal because they can launch with Xbox first. Probably won't be a big deal to them. But I also see a big problem with this being that a lot of small developers, they might be tempted to release unfinished products. And we've seen this in the past, and anytime that you've been unfortunate enough to play an unfinished product, it usually has giant flaws. And then comes the microtransactions with these unfinished products, which is just asinine. EA has been beyond guilty for microtransactions, usually not for unfinished products, but I can see that's exactly, where that's going. So, I don't know. That could be a huge problem for Xbox. I don't see why they're doing that. I don't see the reasoning for it. They're saying stuff, about not wanting them to release on, the PlayStation 4 first. I get that completely. But at the same time, I don't, because I guess the way they're looking at it is if it's on PlayStation 4 first, they might be losing some money. Well, you might be losing all money by driving these developers to just strictly go to the PlayStation. So someone with Microsoft really needs to pull their head out of their ass and stop worrying about the money and start worrying about the consumers. Because gaming right now is headed in one of two directions. Either one, we're going to start getting better quality games with less microtransactions, better better product, more actually finished games, and it's going to be a huge upscale from what we've seen in the recent past. Or we're going to have a very dark future with gaming, and we're going to see a lot of microtransactions where you're going to have to buy every little thing, spend credits, so on and so forth, and basically it's the whole thing of pay to beat. What's the point of that? Now, if I have to pay you a lot of money to beat the game, then I really don't feel the need to buy the game or even play the game, because what's the point? If I'm going to have to pay you just so I can beat the game, then I'm going to buy a different game. Now, if all games get to be that way, then yeah, we're kind of screwed as gamers. But those are the people that are going to get affected by it, is the consumer. So that's what I feel Xbox should be looking at. Look at the consumer and stop looking at the dollar amount that you stand to make or break from pulling such a bonehead move. Alright, moving away from the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, we're going to talk a little bit about Titanfall. Now, I've seen multiple articles online all over the place about the AI, and I guess this spawned due to a closed and private alpha beta testing, which, obviously was before the release or whatever. But because of this, it spawned major questions about the AI that actually populates Titanfall. And one of the big things that was released, or rather revealed, was that you could adjust the aggressiveness or difficulty of the grunt AI that populates Titanfall. And no, they are not cloud-based as it was assumed. So that's what was stated, but it seems that the AI is actually powered by the cloud. We know that there is a vast number of different types of AI throughout Titanfall. Now, from what it sounds like, the way that the AI is intertwined with the cloud processing for the game is probably a little too complicated to convey in just a regular newscast or really in any small article. Now, while fans are definitely clamoring for more information about this game, we're probably going to have to wait for further clarification on anything, which by now most of it has been pretty clarified because, the game's out. So, but the big thing is, you got to wonder if the AI is being processed in the cloud, what does that mean for future Xbox games? Are we going to see more AI processed in the cloud? And how does that register for gamers? We could see a lot of different AI. We could see smarter AI, and not necessarily smarter AI. Let me clarify. What I mean is they could render different AIs right there in the cloud. So what that could possibly mean is you go to one AI and they act a certain way, and you come back to that same AI later or in a different game mode, it could be completely different. They could be more intelligent. They could be processed in such a manner that it learns from gaming experience along with the player. So if the player does something repeatedly, that could be processed into the fact that the AI actually learns from the gameplay, which would actually, in fact, be incredible if you ask me, because it would feel like more of a human experience and more of a lifelike experience when playing a video game. To me, that sounds amazing. But that's all speculation. I really don't know if that's the route they're going or if everybody's just trying to use the cloud. Now, I have a lot of worries about that because I've seen a couple computers actually come to market that they're great computers with amazing processors and a lot of RAM, but they have next to zero storage because they're wanting you to use the cloud. Now, I don't necessarily like being forced into using anything, but we're seeing more and more of that, so it's kind of a thing that I'm looking at very skeptically, and I hope that it's used properly and they stop with the forcing of the cloud and things like that. But I guess we'll have to wait and see in the future and see exactly what's going on. It's really hard to tell for now, but we could be in for a surprise, and this could actually lead to, like I said, very intelligent gaming and a more human experience as far as gaming goes. Alright, so we're going to move on from gaming and move into sports. Now, a lot of my fans know that I am a huge Denver Broncos fan, and as everybody should know right now, the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks will be facing off in the Super Bowl, which is February 3rd, if you didn't know. To me, that's awesome. I'm very happy to see the Denver Broncos going to the Super Bowl. I've not got to see that in my lifetime, so I am very happy about that. But the winning of the Super Bowl, as a Giant fan, I still have my skepticism. So what I'm going to talk about is that the Broncos are hoping to break the Super Bowl losing trend, and like I said, I'm a little skeptical, but I am really hoping that it's going to happen. So the Denver Broncos have actually set an NFL record for points in a season with 606. And the AFC champions hope to go one step further than the team whose record they broke, which was the 2007 Patriots, who actually lost the Super Bowl against the Giants. In fact, of the next 9 highest scoring teams in history, only one, the 1999 St. Louis Rams, took home the Lombardi Trophy. 2013 Denver Broncos with points of 606. How they did it? Peyton Manning threw for 5,477 yards and 55 touchdowns. It's both NFL records. Let's just say they finished the playoffs strong. It was kind of up in the air because we've seen the Broncos go up and down. It's crazy, but we'll see how they do in the Super Bowl, and that'll really tell us how they actually finish. So that's really to be determined. Now, the 2007 New England Patriots with the points of 589, Tom Brady's 50 touchdown passes and Randy Moss's 23 touchdown catches were both new records as the team went 16-0 in the regular season. However, they did lose the Super Bowl to the Giants 17-14 as Eli Manning outdueled Brady at the end. Now, this has kind of been a trend. Now, back in 2011 with the Green Bay Packers, they had 560 points. Aaron Rodgers threw 45 touchdown passes, and Matt Flynn chucked 6 more. In that 560-point stretch, they lost the NFC Divisional Playoffs to the Giants 37-20, ending the defending champions 15-1 season. Now, in 2012, New England Patriots scored 557 points. They had all the weapons that they were missing in 2013. Wes Welker, Aaron Hernandez, Danny Woodhead, and Brandon Lloyd. But they ended up losing the AFC Championship game to the Ravens 28-13, and they were shut out in the second half. So, again, we're kind of seeing a trend here. Now, in 1998, the Minnesota Vikings, they scored 556 points with 2 future Hall of Famers, Chris Carter and rookie Randy Moss, for Cunningham to throw to, kind of, set. That's how they did it. It was a big thing. Which, right now, that's one of the things. A lot of people really like to talk up Peyton Manning, and I love Peyton Manning because, he's the quarterback for my team now. But he has a set roster. You have amazing wide receivers and stuff. You got Julius Thomas, Demaryius Thomas. You have Wes Welker. You have some of the best running backs and stuff in the league. You got Monte Ball and Noshan Marino. Come on. You got it. Like, you throw them the ball, they're going to catch it if at all possible. Now, that's not taken away from Peyton Manning. I'm just saying that, he's got the weapons he needs to shut it down in the Super Bowl. But back to what I was saying is, you kind of seen a trend with the points and the things going on there. So will they be able to clinch the Super Bowl? It's yet to be determined. We've seen a lot with the higher scoring teams. They've just not been able to finish. But we'll see what goes on. It's hard to say. Moving away from the NFL, talk a little bit about the NBA. Ray Allen's been going through a big-time shooting slump. But Ray Allen hit one of the most famous three-point shots in NBA history less than a year ago. He's been proven to be most prolific behind the arc, with more made three-pointers in a career than any other player. So when a shooter of Allen's caliber hits a rough patch, the assumption is that the minor struggle will be short-lived. As Monday rolled around, however, Miami was still waiting for Allen to come out of the other side of his slump. He showed signs that he could be done with one of the worst shooting slump in his career in the Miami Heat's 121-114 loss to the Atlanta Hawks. It had been a long road to that 4 of 4 game from the three-point line for Allen, who ended the day with 14 points. Prior to Monday, Allen had only hit 4 from deep over the first 9 games of the month. Allen started January by playing out 3 games in 63 minutes without making a three-pointer, shooting 0 of 7 over that span. That pattern extended through the months, and he maintained a shooting average of 11.8% from deep before Monday. Encompassed in that 9-game span were 7 games without a made three and only 1 contest with more than 1 conversion. When the Heat played the Bobcats on Friday in Charlotte, where Allen was 1 of 5 from the three-point line, Heat coach Eric Spoelstra expressed confidence in Allen. He's a veteran player. He knows how to impact a game, and it's not the first time he's had a stretch where the ball hasn't gone in. Now, that's showing a lot of confidence in the player. Ray Allen is a very high-caliber shooter when it comes to the three-point arc, but, any player can be put into a slump. I mean, Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Dr. J, Larry Bird, they all had slumps, and it's going to happen to any sports player, any athlete, really, in any sport. So try not to be too hard on him. I see him practicing and just grinding to do what he's got to do to come back. And I think we're going to see a giant improvement. And he'll be back to his old shooting habits in no time. So we'll just have to be on the lookout for that. Anyway, moving on from sports. Again, like I said, I try to keep this kind of fast-paced, not necessarily fast-paced, but I'm not going to cover so much stuff that it takes an hour, for this to go on. But, I'm going to try to cover as much as possible, things that, most people will be interested in, things that I find entertaining, and just things in general that, I want to talk about. So, basically, you get to listen to me rant and talk, and you get to hear the news and my opinion on it. So, but that's what dBNp News is all about. And like I said, we'll be uploading one of these basically every week. You'll get something new. We're going to move on to the entertainment portion of the news. When it comes to entertainment, I'm going to talk about all entertainment. Could be more video games, celebrities, TV, movies, things of that nature. A little bit of everything. One of the things I want to talk about a little bit is YouTube. Now, if you're watching this, you're probably a fan of Let's Plays and video games in general. Most people know who PewDiePie is. If you don't, you got to look him up. He's pretty much one of the top Let's Players. Got millions of subscribers. One of my personal favorites, actually I think he is my favorite besides myself, is Markiplier. You can check him out at Markiplier Game. He's amazing. He gives a lot back to charity, and he seems very humble, and he tries to do a lot of things for the fans. It looks like he had just posted a video where he's moving to LA in hopes that he can work with more YouTubers, I guess, and more people like himself to create better content for his channel. In that video, he had stated that he had lived in Cincinnati, Ohio all of his life. Now, being from Mansfield, Ohio myself, I have been to Cincinnati plenty of times, and I gotta say that it doesn't matter wherever he lives in Cincinnati. He's very brave for just moving out to LA like that. And I gotta say, I'd say a lot of what drives him is his passion for his fans and for charities and things like that. So I just want to wish him the best luck. You guys need to check him out and support what he's doing. It's pretty amazing. There's a lot of guys out there that do stuff like that. Gassy Mexican is another one of my favorites. C Nanners, RPG Minx, which most of these guys do things together and stuff, and it's pretty amazing. Speaking of which, if you like prop hunt, I know that's a big trend right now. A lot of people watching prop hunt. Check out Gassy Mexican. Sounds exactly how I said it, Gassy Mexican. He has like 103 prop hunts or more videos on his channel. So go check that out. He does a lot of live streamings on Twitch and everything. So if you're a big fan of Prop Hunt, definitely go check that out. So that's really all I got to say about the YouTube front right now, other than the Fan Finder seems to be a pretty good addition to getting fans of stuff on YouTube. I'm glad they came out with that. The copyright thing's still getting on my nerves a little bit, but as far as entertainment goes, it's still awesome. Now we're going to talk a little bit about one of my favorite TV shows, and that's Sleepy Hollow. Now, if you haven't already seen the finale, then just to let you know, there could be some spoilers. I'm not exactly sure how far I'm going to go into this. I'm going to try to keep from spoiling anything. With Sleepy Hollow, it's on Fox, and it's actually become a great obsession with a lot of Americans as far as TV season goes. But its freshman season is actually coming to a close, which it actually did come to a close on the 20th. So, 2-hour finale. It's going to be pretty epic. Now, like I said, if you haven't seen the finale already, I'm just going to say spoiler alert. I'm not sure how much I'll get into it, but we'll see. The big thing that's been going around is that there was a big a teaser from Katia Winter. I'm not really sure how you pronounce her name, and Orlando Jones and Nicole Beharie about this blockbuster finale, and they kept saying that the mystery is right under fans' noses. Jones, which is the series' social media hype man, teased that fans can expect the finale to be the series' biggest episode yet. And here's the best news about the finale. It's huge. It really is. It's bigger than the pilot, and it definitely is the biggest episode of the season. It is made in basically movie scale, so you got to see it. When we're talking about Nicole Beharie and stuff like that, when she read the final script, or the finale script, this is what she said to E! News. When I first read it, I was completely blown away. I didn't see any of it coming, and I certainly didn't think it was going to be that magnitude. Winter added, there's definitely going to be a big shift in everyone's character. One thing you got to wonder is the one shift going to be Katrina coming out of purgatory and into the modern day. You got to figure that that's going to happen eventually, but we don't know. We'll see what happens anyway with Katrina, and if she is going to leave purgatory. Again, I don't want to spoil anything for people who have not seen the finale, so I'm going to keep everything hush-hush as much as possible. As far as Sleepy Hollow goes, it is one of the most amazing shows on TV right now. If you want to get some in-depth stuff about the finale and things like that, check out E! News. Apparently they did multiple interviews with a lot of the characters and cast, so definitely check that out. Last thing I'm going to talk about in entertainment is Arrow, which is on the CW. It's in season 2. I believe they're on episode 10, going into episode 11. I don't have any interviews or anything like that for you, but I am a big fan of the show, big fan of the superhero, love the remake in this TV series and stuff. I'm also a big fan of Deathstroke, and there's been amazing twists and turns in this TV show, and they've done such a great job with basically staying away from the superpowers. We're seeing that the Scientist is probably going to make an appearance, and there are rumors that the Question Mark or the Question is going to make an appearance. There's even been rumors of the Flash making an appearance. I don't believe the Flash rumors just because when it was started, it was stated repeatedly that they wanted to stay away from the superpowers. Now, as far as the show goes, I can't ever say his name right, but Stephen Amell is an amazing actor. I think he nails Green Arrow. I think it was an amazing job choosing him to be, the lead role in this TV series. And the show seems to only be getting better, so I'm very impressed with that. It seems like the CW has some of the most amazing TV shows right now. The Tomorrow People is another one you got to check out, which is odd because it has Robbie Amell, or Robert Amell, which is Steven's brother, in the Tomorrow People as the lead role, which, that's kind of weird, but it's kind of cool. But anyway, with Arrow, I wouldn't get your hopes up too much about ever seeing Superman or anything like that, because I don't see them doing the superpower thing, just because they've, made it a point to stay away from that, up until this point. So we'll see if the rumors are true. There have been a couple speculations that Bruce Wayne might actually make an appearance. Again, I don't see that happening, just because of the Batman movies and different. I don't know. I just don't see that happening. Such a big scale character from the DC Comics universe. I don't see him coming into the TV series, even as a special appearance or whatever. Whoever they get to play him, it wouldn't really matter. So I wouldn't get your hopes up too much about seeing any kind of superheroes, but definitely check out the TV series if you haven't already. It's only getting better. I can't wait to see, spoiler alert, what's going on with Deathstroke, because we just found out that he's still alive, and he's been pulling the strings behind a lot of things going on right now. And, Green Arrow thought that he had died on the island, supposedly. Not really sure what's going on yet, because they haven't showed that far on the island sequence yet. But apparently he thought he was dead, so we'll see what's going on. Definitely can't wait for that. So that's all I got for you as far as entertainment goes. Now, in the general news, I had this whole thing prepared about Obamacare and things like that. But to be honest, you guys are so sick of hearing about Obamacare and Medicaid and the health spending rising slowly and different things like that, that I'm just going to skip it. I want to get better stories for you guys as far as general news. And if you want to, read stuff like that, most of your news journals and the Wall Street Journal and your gazettes and newspapers and regular Fox News, CNN, they're going to cover all that crap anyway. So why does it matter? You can check it all out, with them. So anyway, guys, this has been the first installment of dBNp News. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you want to hear me talk about or cover for you. Or let me know if you disagree with anything that I've stated or said. And either way, guys, we'll make sure to get back to you and talk to you. So I've been your host, GTS the King. This has been dBNp News. Good night.